Alrighty, welcome back. It's our first time back since for a week. Jolene's feeling 80%, and she wants to thank everybody, and I want to thank everybody for the good words and the goodwill and all that stuff, you know. It's hard to see a bad back and to have, what's that called? Sympathy for somebody that you cannot see what's wrong with them, but she had a bad back. She laid in bed there for a week, and we're back for a while. We want to thank everybody on the YouTube station for sending out all the good wishes. I say that again. But we have been invited to the Motorama Custom Car and Motorsport Expo, March 11th, 12th, and 13th. She wrote this down because it's hard for me to say it all. It's a motoramashow.com if you want to buy tickets. It's right there. motoramashow.com to buy tickets. We're going to be there. We're going to be there for 3 days. We're going to be meeting fans. We're going to be taking pictures. We're going to be signing autographs. We're going to be handing out awards. We're going to be selling shirts and hats. We're going to be talking on stage. And it will be our first time being there. And what I can say about it is I'm very excited to go there. I really am, just to meet all the people that, you know, want to meet us. And we'll be there for 3 days, and we're going to put in our time because we want to help the show do the best it can, and we want to thank them for inviting us. So it's kind of, you know, thank them for inviting us. We're going to work as hard as we can to show them the much appreciation as we can. And I want you to bring all your kids and all the people that want to come, that want to get motivated to get into the sport and have a good time with it. You know, it's a good thing to get involved in, is building cars. Yeah, it's going pretty good, I must say. But today what we're going to do is we're going to put on some primer. I have put some stuff inside the paint room here. Jolene's Bugatti doors, we got them back a while back from Jeff. He did the wood on the inside. He had to take them. When he took the doors, they were not finished. I had to do some work on the inside. I had to do some work around the hinges. I had to straighten them out a little bit more. We took the trunk lid off, the 55. I went over this with a DA, with a guide coat. I went over the DA, and that's the dual action sander. I found a high spot. I'd rather have it high than low because I can sand it down. If I have it low, then I got to put some on. I had a little dent over here I had to fix. But now what I'm going to do is we got the inside primed, we got it guide coat, it's ready for paint, I would say. Now this time we're going to prime the outside of it. We're going to put 3 or 4, 5 coats on it, whatever it takes. And then we'll have enough primer on the outside so when we block it off, we're done. We got some stuff over here. The louvers have been primed on one side. We did those one day. We primed one side and we guide coated them. We'll have to sand those yet. We're going to prime this side. We got the piece that Zach welded up. We got a little bit of filler on that. It's 40-80. 40-80, that's what I do. I go 40 grit then 80 grit and then put some primer on, see what it is. So basically I'm going to go over here and mix some primer up and dose some primer on. You can watch and see what we're doing like we do every other time. We've got some stuff over here. All the interior pieces have been primed, guide coated, and the dash primed and guide coated. We're working our way. We're working our way through it. We're doing quite a bit. There's quite a bit to a car, and that's what I can say. There's quite a bit to it. You know, every little piece has to be sanded. And if you want to do a perfect job, which I'm not really into, but if you want to do a perfect job, when you sand your primer and you get ready to paint, all you have to do is make sure there's no scratches, no picks, no dents, no wavy spots, and that takes a lot of work. But this is where we're at. We're going to prime the pieces that we have in there now. Remember, the motoramashow.com for tickets. motoramashow.com for tickets. We're going to be there for 3 days. And I want to say thank you to the Ontario Car Show for, you know, asking us to come because we really appreciate it. And we're going to do the best job we can. What I'm going to do, I didn't do it last time, but I'm going to do it this time. I'm just going to take a screwdriver and knock a hole in the edges of that can, just so. Find a screwdriver here. I want to pound through it. Just so the primer runs down around the cover. When you dump this stuff, it goes in around there. Sometimes it don't seal up the greatest. I'm going to put this on the ground. Just going to nail a little hole in the edge of it. That's fine. Just take a second. I just do that just so the primer can leak back down in when we pour it out. And I use just about anything. Jolene has still been pumping out the content. She's been throwing it on Facebook. It's been going well. We're stirring a lot of foundations, I would say. And it makes me smile. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on half of this. Let's see where we're at here. We're going to throw on half of this primer because we're going to use it. Yes, we are. When I say we're going to throw on half of it, that means half of the gallon. That means I got to take out 2 of these. There's 4 of these per gallon. We'll put them on there and stir it up good. We shook it in the shaker first. You should always shake your primer before you do this, because if you do not get it shooken up, I have done that before and made a mess. Yes, I have. Made a mess. Hard to believe, I know, but I have. No, it's not hard to believe. It's not hard to believe at all. We're using a Princess Auto gun. It's a power fist gun. That's what the box says, power fist. And what I do is I use them. I try to buy a brand new one when I'm painting a car. If I paint a car, I'll use a brand new one. And then when I go priming, I'll just use the gun that I've used painting a couple times, and I'll use that for priming. It's a 1.4 nozzle, and basically I'd like to turn up the pressure as high as I can to get it to lay as flat as I can. And I find that if you do not spray the paint or primer on it high pressure, it does not lay down that great with this gun. I'm not talking about any other gun. I'm talking about the gun that I'm using. And that's why I sprayed high pressure, because I get the paint and the primer to lay down. I'd like to use these guns because I don't like to take the time to clean them. Basically, I don't like to take the time to clean them. These are reasonable to buy. You can buy one for less than $50, a brand new gun, and spray a car. I mean, to me, instead of charging the hour to clean it or the 2 hours to clean your gun, take it all apart and all the material that you use and all that stuff, I can just use that gun and throw it away or use it for priming on the next car. Basically what I do. And I am here for the guy that wants to fix up a car or restore a car the most reasonable way possible. I am not here for the people that are spending $250,000, even $50,000. I'm not here for them people that spend $250,000 on a restoration. I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people that want to learn and want to go forward and do their project. And I'm just trying to show the most reasonable way to do it, to get the job done. And I guess mainly the best way to get it done is to be creative. Be creative. And if I can be creative enough to play with the big boys when they spend their $250,000 and I spend $10,000 to $20,000 on the whole thing, that makes me feel good about what I'm doing. And it should you too if you're able to do it with creativity. Creativity goes a long way when money's involved. And to me, I'm not there where I want to spend that much money on something because it takes the fun out of the project. When you're waiting for money or you have to make a certain amount of money to build a car, that's not where it's at for me. Where it's at for me is being creative and getting the best job I can for the least amount of money. And it will stay that way probably till the end of time. I'm not a rich man by no means, and I do not need to spend all my money on building a car. This is supposed to be fun. That's what it's supposed to be, and we're supposed to inspire somebody else to go for it. You don't need the $200 gun. You don't need the $500 gun. You don't need $50,000 to build a nice car. You don't need $25,000 to build a nice car. Become creative and make yourself happy. This is what it's about. Jim told me if you're not happy, well, stop working on it. What I'm trying to do is make myself happy. And I'm very happy with being able to spend the least amount of money to build something. That's where I'm at. And those who feel that you have to spend that much money to make your car better, go for it. Go for it. But you're not going to change my mind. Huh? You're not going to change my mind, are you, baby? Huh? Jolene's looking amazing today. She's double masked and double vaxxed. Ain't you, baby? Huh? Double masked. I'm just going to use the white mask. I know you guys all give me a hard time last time, but I never smelt a thing. So I'm going to use it again. The other mask is kind of dirty and ugly. I might buy a new one if I go to paint something. But with the fan on, we have not much, what can I say, smell at all. So I'm fine. So if you're worried about it, don't. Because if it got to me, I would change it. Just going to go in here and check the spray pattern. Alrighty. Just going to spray some stuff. I like to spray my body fill first. Whatever's showing on body fill, we spray that first. Because that needs the most attention, you must admit. You must admit. Like the old saying says, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Then I'll put on more product than I need. So when I get to sand it, I have it. If I don't put it on, I won't have it. The doors were never finished, just primed and made look better. Now we're going to put a little primer on them, try to make them look good. Try to finish things. I see they're still not going to be finished after I do this. I see some pinholes, but that's fine. I don't mind priming things a few times to get what I need. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Spraying the primer or the body fill first, so it has enough. Then we'll do the trunk lid itself. Let's go get some more primer. Stirring her up, man. We're back! We're back. Just going to put a little bit of primer on these. It's on the underneath side. Just put a little bit on. Just enough to get them coated. We don't need a whole bunch underneath. But we want primer on them. Basically what I'm saying. We've sanded them both sides. I'll put more than one coat on that, that's for sure. Prime this for a second. When you're painting or priming, you should always be on the move. Always on the move. Gonna come around here, sweetheart. Left some body fill in there, I see. Alrighty. It's enough for that. I'm gonna put the rest on this, on the doors, because we're gonna need it. We want it to look the best it can. Yeah. Putting a bunch on, loading her up. We want product to work with. That's what I want, product to work with. And a lot of it will get sanded off. I am painting, or you can see I'm priming the hinges on the back side and the latches that go inside. What I plan on doing there is I'm going to sand that, and we're going to chrome wrap those because it seemed to be such a hard problem or hard thing to polish them back up. I didn't have the tool to polish them back up or the grit of sandpaper to get in there. So what I've planned on doing is I'm going to chrome wrap. The hinge I've got taped off, the stainless steel part, but where it going to be shown. I'm going to chrome wrap it, and the reason being is for, yeah, just for the work and what it would take to get it back. I've got it welded there, so that's what I'm going to do. Like this sort of stuff. We'll chrome wrap that so it looks good. I already primed that, didn't I? Down there, I already primed that? Now. All kinds of primer on. We're going to use it. We're going to use it. Back over to the trunk lid. I've done this set. Putting lots on. You're looking good. I'm not going to put any more on those, just enough to cover them. This is going to need product. Back on the doors. You're looking good. You are, Jolene, you're looking good. I always talk about how I prime, and then after I prime, I do the pinholes. Well, there was a suggestion in the comments, I think. Jolene told me a guy took and put the polyester putty on, just like I did the body fill, but he put the polyester putty on after the primer. What a great idea. And I think that's a great idea because his idea is just going one step further than I did. Instead of just using the body filler, he's using the polyester putty on top of the primer after. I find that a lot of people use the polyester before, and I don't like sanding the polyester putty on top of the filler is what I don't like. I like it on top of the primer, and that was a good comment and a great idea. I take it, but I just don't like buying the stuff because I find yourself using it when it's not necessary. That's the only thing with me. But great idea. Great idea. But I'd use it if I had to. My objective with putting so much primer on is when I block it out that I have enough to do the job. I don't want to come in and do it again and again and again and again and again. You know what I'm trying to say? That's my objective. It should be yours too. I'll just come out of the dust here. Another thing too, when I'm priming this, I'm priming a strip, and then I'm trying to go down halfway and prime the strip again. So I'm overlapping it every time I prime it. It's almost like doing the weld. Every time I weld one, I want to put it right beside it and half overlap it and have another little bead going. So I'm doing the exact same thing I'm priming it, overlapping a little bit, overlapping a little bit, so it gets coverage. go around the table too much, but whatever. Down in here has never been primed before. I'm seeing a few pinholes, but we'll get them. That's what we do. We'll get them. Get them. Hey. Get a little more left. We'll do the door again. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Trying to do a little bit on each so I can get them, get them close to being done somehow. It's a lot of work. We're not restoring cars, we're building cars. And Jolene's is from pretty well nothing, and Elvis is customized in every way. So it takes a lot of work. It's a lot different than restoring a car. Restoring a car, you fix the pieces that you have. When you're customizing something, you're making things. There's two different things going on. Two different things going on. Going to prime where the work was. Leave the rest alone. Doesn't even bother me if this stuff runs, because I'm going to sand it off anyways. Skinny, aren't I? Not really. Jolene's. I won't say skinny. How about fantastic? Trying to put a coat on here. Whoop, whoop, looking good. You are, Jolene, looking good you are. Ever seen someone with a bad back look so good? I have not primed the other side of the doors. So when we prime the other side of the doors, we'll do the edge again because there's a few pinholes on the edge of the doors and I want to get them. But we'll fix them as we prime the other side. Trying to make it wet. Trying to make it wet. Alrighty. That's a half a gallon of primer sprayed. Half a gallon. I'm going to use quite a bit of that because I got the car left to do. And I probably never mentioned that the car that I got a new haircut. Jolene cut my hair. The car was primed. You know, we kind of got it half-assed, and then it was primed. So basically, I've got to go over the whole car again to make sure it's looking good and right, I guess. And we're going to use a lot more product. But with the trunk lid, we've got the underneath done, and now I've got the top done. Now I'm saying I got enough primer on it to be able to, when I scuff it down, I got to paint it because I blocked it out on the top or used a DA on it. Found a high spot, got it buffed down a little bit, and I think I got enough material on it now that it's probably paintable. All that stuff over there is probably paintable now, the dash and all that stuff. But the Bugatti doors have to be turned over. They haven't got no primer on them whatsoever. I never primed inside around the door edges yet. I just did around the hinges the other day and got them tidied up. There was quite a bit of work in there to make it look good. So basically, just going forward, one piece at a time. And we're back. Oh, I forgot to tell you. We're going to the Motorama Custom Car Motorsport Expo, March 11th, 12th, and 13th. MotoRamaShow.com for tickets. We're going to be there 3 days. And we're going to be there 3 days. We're going to meet all fans. We're going to be taking pictures. We're going to be signing autographs. We're going to hang out with the awards, handing out awards, selling t-shirts and hats if possible. We're going to be talking on the stage, and it's going to be our very first time. And we want you to come. We want you to order tickets and come meet us because we'll be talking. We'll be there all day. And we want to inspire you to build a car. That's what we want to do. We want to inspire the younger people to get on it and get with it. Have some fun. Just going to put a little primer in this, or a little thinner, sorry. Just a basic little fan that I got from one of my favorite stores, Princess Auto. Just stuck it in the wall, put it down on the ground. We got two filters over here on the side. They're not clean by no means, but that's what the paint room is. Just a fan from Princess Auto. A couple filters on the side, and I've been able to do many cars. Had a talk with a bunch of students from, was it Maine or Connecticut? Maine? I had some talk with a bunch of students in Maine, and you know, like I told them, do not go out and buy yourself a great big shop and think that that's what builds the cars, because that's not what builds the cars. It's not the shop, it's you. And you can build a car in a cardboard box if you got the will and want. I find that's a lot of people's mistake, is to get in over their head, owe a bunch of money, and then it becomes a hassle, and you're not happy anymore. So one thing I did, I made sure that I put a little tiny shop up behind my house that I could work in to make me happy. And these cars I'm building are to make me happy. Nobody else. To make me happy. School teacher asked me, he said, how do you feel with all the fame that you're getting? And all the comments. And I said, well, all the comments are none of my business. I'm too busy. None of my business. What people think and what people say is none of my business. And the reason being I say that is because if I didn't say that and I worried about it, I would not get anything done. I wouldn't. Put a little more in it let it set there. For next time, put a little primer on. So there you go. Not much smell in here at all. Not much smell at all. I didn't really get a thing, actually. Yeah, so I put lots of primer on. Jolene's doors are primed. I haven't done the back side, so I've got to wait till it dries and then flip them over and do that side. There's lots of work to do. Basically, I'm trying to put enough product on so when I sand them, it's over. And if there's not enough, then I'd do it again. But right now on this car, you come back tomorrow, and I'll either be trying to put the steering column in, or I'm going to try to make a hood latch. And you can take a look underneath this hood. There's going to be some sand in there. Zach will be in tomorrow. There's going to be some sand and some work to be done there. But what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to take an actuator. The actuator's right there. I'm hoping to mount an actuator across here on the red support, drill a hole in the piece that we just primed. The actuator's going to come up, and I'm going to make a connection here where the actuator can be connected. I'm going to have two rubber stops out here, but I'm going to hook the actuator up so it pushes the hood up and down. And then when I want to get into the hood, I can undo a pin, push the hood up all the way or whatever. What's going on here is I've got no place to keep the hood down now as I've taken that off. And then people say, well, just take the latch off something else. Well, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. It takes more than that. It takes more than that. That thing has to be in the exact place that it needs to be. That has to be in the exact place it needs to be. Have to go up and down 100 times. I'm going to try to get rid of that. I'm going to try to push a button. Up comes the hood. Pull the pin. Pick it up. Pull the hood back down. Put the pin in it. Go ahead and press my button. The actuator brings it down tight to the rubber on the rubber. And the way it'll bring it back down tight is I'll make it fit so it begins all the way down and then comes up, and that's it. So the hood will all go all the way down and stop. I have this rubber stop here, a rubber stop here, a little hole where it goes up and down and connected here. I can still weld it to the hood. You can see I've got a hood welded on top of a hood, so I'm going to connect it inside here so I don't burn anything off because I had to weld that on and fill that out. I want to get that hood off and get that primed. I'm going to have to do it probably a couple times, just like the trunk lid. But glad to be back, and I'm glad Jolene's off her back. Well, glad she's off her back. And she's filming again, but glad to see everybody and welcome back. And let's keep building some cars. Let's continue on. And again, one more time, I want to let everybody know if you're close by, motoramashow.com. Sorry, tickets right there. We'll be there all 3 days. We'll be signing autographs. We'll be talking to people. We'll be handing out awards. We'll inspire your kids to build a car. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We'll try. And if we don't inspire them, we'll try to inspire you because it's a fun thing to do. See you later, everybody. Glad to be back.